Let's fucking go.
The Emperor has been expecting you.
Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and you are very welcome to another episode of The Hope Show. We're at number 47 and I don't know about you, but I am having an absolute great day. We will get into that and why. I was having a good day anyway, but it got really good. Particularly good about an hour and a half ago, so absolutely buzzing. We've got a great show lined up for you. Hopefully you'll think the same. So if you're joining us now, if you're one of the 25 people watching live, or if you're watching on the replay, consider hitting the like button, consider hitting the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel in a different way, consider becoming a channel member. There's a link pinned to the live chat. Thank you very much. We've got Ian, aka Ancient Silver Fox, and we got Phil, aka The Empire Strikes, and I believe we're waiting for Thrawn's office. I think he's going to be joining us later on. So, guys, how are you doing?
Really good. Back to work tomorrow after quite some time off. So, really looking forward to it.
I'm not sure your face. You should tell your face. your face is the words are coming out of your mouth, but your face absolutely disagrees.
Yeah.
Are you starting a new job or?
No, that will be hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Good stuff. All right, so back to work tomorrow. Well, best of luck with it. And Ian, I think you were saying something, but you were muted.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not having as good a day as you. I've had one positive today, but it's been a disaster. Hey, still smiling.
Well, I'm just looking over your left shoulder, and you seem to have 5 or 6 positives there waiting for you. I want to zoom in.
There's
what do we have here? I see them. Anything exciting?
So, top 1, 000.
Wow.
There's 3 Shadow Troopers. There's another Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper and the Batman. So the
nice.
Batman, I'm ashamed to say I normally open my figures like that. Batman, I've had 2 weeks, and I've opened the one Shadow Trooper just to check it's okay. Just been that busy, so it's there to remind me to get some time, some quality time, and appreciate the figures.
I think you need that. Like we were kind of talking about this backstage. I'm very much, I unbox them when I'm good and ready. If they've got to sit there for a few weeks, that's fine. It has to be. I know I have to have the energy and the time and set aside and the mood and just kind of go right. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to pose it up right. I want to decide where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to display it. Maybe there's some CCFLs to be added or fusions, or it's a light up base. How am I going to do that? So I think they're definitely, especially the posing. Posing takes time. You can't just take that out and it doesn't really happen like that. That's a nice haul though. Trip is it three of the what are the black troopers called? The
Shadow Troopers.
3 shadows. And is it 1 Jedi?
1 Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper. I've got another 2 that are on a later batch, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then I've got Han Solo. So I've got 7 Death Star walls, dioramas that I can play with.
That's
I
gonna look
just,
incredible.
like everybody else, I wish they would sell those as accessories because I need more. There's something I want to do, but I don't want that many Stormtroopers or Shadow Troopers.
Excellent. Yeah. No, I actually ordered 2 of those Stormtroopers as well. I believe Phil, you got one in recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I got one in, and I got hopefully one on the way shortly.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, I remember you were, I think we were talking about it last week. Yeah, I like I said, I have the MMS 514. It's down here, and I regretted not buying the one with the light up Death Star wall. yeah, see, this is it. That's the business right there. I just want to zoom in on that for a second. The wall makes some difference. It's just that kind of iconic thing. We were mentioning in the chat actually. Yeah, so I got 2 of those on order. I'm actually selling the MMS 514. It's basically good as new. I have the box and all that kind of stuff, all the original accessories, nothing broken, stuff like that. If you're interested, let me know. The only reason I'm selling is because I wanted 2 of those walls, display bases like Phil has there and Ian has on order as well. So if anyone just wants the Stormtroopers, not bothered by the wall, just let me know and I see if I can do you a deal. But did we see, I think we were messaging in the chat, the Death Star wall displays where that was our chat we were mentioning, wasn't it? It was like the Jedi archives, and it's like a 124 centimeter long Death Star wall. I'm not sure how wide it is. I don't think that it dimensioned it there, but that looks incredible. I think that would look nice just behind me here. Remove those art and have it down there. I think that's something I might have to do. But Mike, how are you getting on?
Hey, great, fellas. Nice to see you guys.
Thanks.
Is it? It's not loud, right? Am I loud? Am I
No,
loud here? Okay.
No. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, it's great seeing you guys. I got no figures as of the last few days, but I did get this.
Nice. That's the first part, I think, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Issue 1. I don't know. I just have this. I guess I don't have any figures on display, but I have this fantasy one day when I do that some will have corresponding comic covers to go with them. That's kind of cool.
That will.
Hono's trying to steal my thunder.
Yeah, that's you were saying that's I believe what they call a slabbed comic, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
And that's
that
9.8.
9.8. Yeah. This one's from CGC. There's a few companies that do it. Some people have their preference. CGC is like the kind of industry leader, I would say. So I usually just stick with them so that there's like uniformity in my. They all have like uniformity in the labels.
I get
and
you.
stuff,
Yeah.
You know, so if you're displaying them, like I have some like wall placards that they sit on, and you can kind of just display them as little posters. So but these will probably go in a case. Thanks, man. Yeah, they're gonna look. Of course, the back is kind of cool, and this one's very simple.
Yeah.
But
I have a stupid question. So like, if you want to read that, like, it's not an option, is it? Is it sealed?
No,
it's not a stupid question. I've always wanted to ask that question.
No.
Can you take?
I'm here for you. I'm going to ask the stupid question, so everyone doesn't have to.
No, it's the question that makes this particular hobby stupid. Because why would you put a book in jail permanently?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like ridiculous.
So you can judge it by the cover.
Yeah, that's what most people do.
Yeah.
Even Rob Liefeld, I remember when like these really kind of blew up over COVID as like everything else did. And Rob Liefeld, the famed Deadpool creator, is like, so I guess we're in the trading card business now? I thought we were in the bookmaking business. But essentially comics have become trading cards when you put them in something like this and trade them and sell them.
Well, I suppose Rob Liefeld was just trying to get his foot in the door, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just trying to. You know what's funny, Shane? He was making fun of it, right? About 6 months later, it's all he was doing was selling autographed slab comics. He said, "Why not? I'll jump in."
Happy days. Someone wants to charge him like take $50 for an autograph or whatever the cost of an autograph is. Why not, man? Why not?
More than that too. Yeah, no, it's a big business, man. So
I'm going to address the chat really quickly because if I leave it till later, thankfully. There's a lot of people here and there's a lot of comments and it takes a long time, so I'm going to address that straight away. Obviously, folks, massive thank you if you're one of the 3,307 subscribers, which is humbling, and I really do appreciate that. If you're watching live on the replay, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and if you want to support the channel in a different way and become a channel member, the link is there in the description, and greatly appreciate it. Of course, no obligation, but it is greatly appreciated. So this man here, little story I have today, which I was having a good day, but this man just like sent it to the next level. I will explain. It involves Bottled Water, Star Wars Celebration, Spice Runner, and Austin Nicholas. We'll get to that. Channel member and panel member, we have of course Phil, Empire Strikes. We have H and Silver Fox, X-Man Supreme. This guy's not even slightly excited about Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't even knows it's coming out. Doesn't really care, to be honest, I don't think. We got Thale Meyer all the way from Germany. Thanks for being here. We got Darth Bane. I've seen him pop up in a lot of streams recently. Thank you very much for being here. Shiny, I'm going to read this one. It's probably sarcasm, and I do appreciate it. I hope there's discussion on Artisan Fever, God, Loki, YIXIES Oppenheimer, and INART Ron Hot Toys this week. So you read the title, Shiny. Not your best work, but I presume you're here all night. Thanks very much for joining us. Malik McBain, thank you very much. Channel member as well. I think he was gifted a channel member there recently. Much appreciated. Mike Fiala with exclamation mark Mike and a new avatar there. Thanks very much for being here. We got the Movie Cannon. Thanks for being here. We got Mark Mitchell, channel member. Thank you, sir. We got Jose G. Hernandez, channel member, usually a panel member or resident fact checker. Although people are they're starting to talk. They're starting to talk, Jose. They think there is someone else. They think this man might be the chosen one. They think you're running from. No, we're only joking. We do miss you, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing who he's going to face off against next. Shane's going to make me walk out of work establishment one day. I send him the link every week, him and Brandon Salad, and hoping that they be and Eddie as well, hoping that maybe they're available. But of course, they got to work and stuff like that. I keep advising them to quit their job, but they're not taking the bait. Anytime you're off, Joey, please hop in. Tragedy Tales channel member, thank you very much for being here. Hoping for some sick releases soon. Yeah, thanks very much. Really do appreciate you being here. And yeah, aren't we all? Everyone apart from wallets, really. Hot Toys Collector UK, looking forward to the show. Thank you. I do appreciate you being here and supporting the channel. We got Mark Attack. Is that Thrawn's office or Colin Farrell? Man, there's a compliment for you, sir.
I wish. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a that is a compliment, man. Good stuff.
Somebody's got to clean their screen a little bit.
Yeah. I might be interested, Shane. I'm in the EU too. Oh right, yeah. Mark, hit me up and we'll see what we can do. Like, so I presume you're talking about the Stormtrooper. Yeah, man. Like it's perfect. It just doesn't have the wall, and that's what I was looking for. But yeah, hit me up on Instagram. We'll see if we can make it happen. Who else do we got? Dart Bane 9.8. Yes, we're talking about that slab. It does look classy. I know you can't read it, but I presume you could just read it and then slab it up, and yeah. Or get two. They're relatively cheaper, aren't they? They're not like that one. Isn't particularly like, sell a kidney for, is it?
No, this one's going for about $60 to $80, but I mean, some go for thousands. It really just depends.
I thought you were going to say no. This one's just a spleen. It's fine. So
yeah, exactly.
Hey, good stuff. So if you're diehard, you probably could get one loose and get one slab. But I do like the look of the slabs, I gotta say. El Mario. I might actually get to meet this man. Oh, so excited about this story. And that brings us up. So, yeah, thanks very much, folks. We're going to get straight into the show here. So, do I have the grid? And I think we're going to let Mike choose first. So, where are we? I'll just skip through. We'll come back to the basic housekeeping in a while. Mike, anything here tickle your fancy?
Wow. Let me see. I should know this. Who's the gentleman in the red sweater or jumper?
Oh my
George
god.
Best.
George Best. All right. Yeah.
Ian,
Let's try that one.
Ian just like, I don't know. I feel like Ian kind of strangled you metaphorically there or something like
felt
that.
It. I felt it.
My foot.
He's not Scottish, mind Ian.
He's from actually from Northern Ireland originally, I believe.
George Best, Pete Best.
Yeah, he's from Belfast.
Yeah. He's one of.
So he was famous for saying, "I spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars, and I wasted the rest."
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's
Oh, well,
yeah.
I knew there was a reason I chose him.
This guy, he's
He
basically
dated 3 Miss Worlds.
See that? Yep.
he is I suppose one of the best, no pun intended, soccer players ever. Played for United, was gifted. Unfortunately,
Football.
Leave it to the Yanks.
Sorry.
Leave it to the Yanks to not know who he
Sorry,
is.
look, Ian, you have to understand that according to my analytics, 99% of my audience is in fact American, so therefore I have to translate everything, and this is why they watch me with subtitles. I will never do that again. I'm sorry. Football.
You're using your real-time translator.
Yeah. I love this comment. Hell yeah, Shane. Let's get all the pints. That's funny. That is funny. So look, this is a great place to start. So I'm just going to share this screen here while Ian recovers.
Oh my god, I'm kicked out of the chat. Ian has permission?
Oh god,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've got permission, but I haven't kicked you out the chat.
So this one basically in my imagination, you know, and I'm really clever. I decided we'll just put in something. I was going to write the word best, but I was like, you know what, we'll put in George Best, and we can flick through some of the pre-orders, the announcements from this year, from the most recent to the first announcement of the year. If anyone has Instagram on their phone and wants to tell me about the first announcement, not releases, announcements, and we'll decide which one our best was, as in what was the most exciting pre-order or announcement of this year so far. So I'm just going to scroll through these, guys, and you can have a conversation. So we're starting off with this, and you can just yell if you already know what was your most exciting one. These are all the pre-orders sorted from newest, and they're all the announcements, I suppose. So what do you think, guys? Anything stand out at you?
Yeah, Mole all day long for me. Oh, no, saying that, Jack Sparrow. Actually, I ordered that one. It's in Florida there.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow, Han Solo, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, those are all good. I think. What about the? No, the Anakin was announced last year, right?
Yeah,
the end of last year. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably the Jack Sparrow. For me personally, I don't know. I think the Maul. I'm pretty hyped up for the Maul because I don't have that version yet. So this is. I only have the Clone Wars version, so I've always wanted that one, but I just like never bought them backwards, and I guess that is a good choice.
I think yeah, I know that last year the Artisan Anakin and Joker released, so these ones don't count then. Anyone remember when the Dewback and Sand Trooper Sergeant were actually put up? I think that was late last year. I don't know.
I think it was late last year too.
Last year,
Okay.
yeah.
I feel the Praetorian was last year as well. Would it be right in saying Ahsoka? When did Ahsoka actually screen on TV? Was that last year or this year?
August. Was it August?
That might make sense, doesn't it? It wasn't this year anyway, was it? Surely not. No.
First episode was August 22nd.
Okay, good memory.
So
man.
time is flying, man. No,
Yeah,
I can't.
absolutely.
I wish I could take credit for a memory like that, but no.
We're already dead, guys. We are already dead. Get busy living. I feel like there's a lot missing here. Like, I know that these are okay. That they're the most recent ones. We've got the Maul, the Artisan Luke.
I guess these are pre-releases, but some people were really excited about the instant release stuff, right? Like,
True, yeah. I got way too excited about those Stormtroopers, but I mean,
I know Revan is up there for a lot of people.
yeah, I thought Ian was going to go straight in with Revan, but yeah.
I'd love to get two of those.
The Raven out of the most recent ones I'm hyped for. Love that figure.
Yeah.
And
So
hey, Shadow Troopers, I obviously love that because I've got 3 behind me. Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's more for the Red Death Star wall.
yeah, that aesthetic is going to be incredible.
The Balin was a big deal, but I think his reach of interest is probably narrower than Revan.
Yeah, no doubt. Revan's been around since I think what 20 years maybe. When did Knights of the Old
I think Knights of the Old Republic was 99 or so. I don't know. Maybe I'm. Anyway, it's 20 years or maybe more. And for a lot of people hated the Ahsoka show. So
yeah,
you know,
that is true, man. That is true. Yeah, what's standing out to me here is the Maul is exciting. I think the Revan's really exciting, even though it's not for me. I think that's a real. People were calling out for Starkiller and Revan, and I was like, I don't know, is that ever going to happen? And I'm glad it happened for them. I think I can see why people would pick Revan. Nothing really jumped. Han Solo, obviously. I feel like I'm still missing some here, but Han
Shane, it was
Solo is a big deal.
2003, by the way, Knights of the Old Republic. So I was a little off, but still over 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The John Wick, I think, is exciting. Prey. No, Prey was like Prey was like Halloween or something. I remember that. And so was John Wick. They were kind of. I feel like we're missing a lot here, to be honest, folks. But yeah, I suppose Han Solo is very exciting. Your pick is Maul, Phil.
Yeah, the Maul. I'd love to get that Revan as well, but no, you flick through them and Jack Sparrow. Can't wait to get Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. And is Jack your pick then at the most exciting announcement of this year, Ian?
Yeah, I think trying to break away from the main IPs I collect, I think for me that looks stunning. I love that character, so that would be my top pick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotcha. I'm just going to quickly look up Hot Toys because I want to see if I'm missing anything. I feel like I am. And I want to quickly do this before we move on.
While you do that, I'm going to say the BVS Batman for me. Just because,
a lot of people
again, I didn't go backwards and pick them up. And this new head sculpt looks fantastic. So it's weird to say a 2.0 is your most exciting, but the Maul and that Batman are probably my two, personally.
See, if you missed out on it and it's crawling up in the aftermarket and the 2.0, you're obviously going to be excited about it. And I totally get that.
Right.
Like, I've been there before as well in that situation. You're in the right place at the right time. And like a Besman Luke, like I wasn't going to go back, and I thought the DX07 was looking quite dated and I wasn't willing to go back. And I didn't want two of them, I just needed one. So when they did that with that really cool base, I just got onto my CCFL guy straight away, and it was just a 2.0. You're in the right place at the right time for, you know.
Right.
So look, these are the announcements. So you got their rooted hair Loki, you got the sculpted Loki, you got your artisan Luke and sculpted. You got Maul. You've got. We're just gonna go straight through to the actual announcements. Revan. You got the Gold Trooper, the Shadow Trooper, Maul, the Gold Clone Trooper, a bunch of cos babies. What else do we have? Trip. Is this BT1?
Yeah.
Star Killer. There's a few announcements, or sorry, releases, should I say here, that I'm skipping through them because we're only going to deal with the announcements. You got the 2.0 armored diecast Batman. You've got Anakin Skywalker from Ahsoka. Of course, you have multiple different SKUs or versions of Jack Sparrow, which I can see why people would say that is one of their favorites. You've got the Umbra Trooper, Balin and Shin, Magneto, Balin and Shin, a Mandalorian Super Commando. These are all releases. Ahsoka, young Ahsoka, or Padawan Ahsoka from the show. Mm-hmm. These are releases.
That Spider-Man was a pretty big deal too. People went nuts for that one.
People went nuts for that one. Mm-hmm. There you go, Han Solo, which I think that probably my pick for the most exciting announcement of this year. Although there's a lot of hype releases this year. I'm just trying to see if I've missed anything. This one was kind of had a bit of a buzz. Was this late last year? This Mark II 2.0? Or was it early this year?
Yeah, that was last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the now cancelled Sarkarian Iron Man that people were going crazy for.
Yeah.
I haven't met one person who actually wants it. Like, I presume they're out there. No shade if you are, but I just Night Troopers. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And then December here, so that's pretty much that. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. So
I guess that 2.0 was last year. Then I was wrong about that Batman BVS. So that doesn't count then.
I don't know. Maybe it was. Was it late last year possibly, or maybe it could have been early this year?
I think it was late last year because it looks like it's before the.
Yeah. 21 weeks ago, so 15th of December. It was just late last year. That's what it was. Just.
I hate that they do that. Who thinks in weeks besides like the parents of a newborn? Like nobody thinks in weeks. It's an irrelevant number.
Exactly. It's like you're 18 months old. It's like
just a year and a half.
Yeah, when you get to my age, you deal in decades.
Every Hot Toy just came out.
Yeah, but do you ever find that though? Like, we kind of the whole concept of like putting an NRD down, or sometimes maybe paying something off, or putting something on a payment plan that you're not going to get for 18 months. It is bizarre. And then part of me kind of likes it, as in, okay, if it was a guaranteed 18 months, it gives you time to decide how you're going to pay it. Maybe you're going to pay it off all. Fine. Maybe you're just going to put an NRD on, but you'll budget that in 18 months time, roughly from 12 to 18 months time, maybe split the difference, 15 to 18 months that you're going to have to pay off the balance and the shipping and taxes, whatever. Or do you like put on a payment plan, or do you pay yourself that payment plan every month, or you know what I mean? I think it's kind of nice going, okay, this will be out in 12 to 18 months, fine, I have time to budget. Whereas if it was just like they just released something that was out there, I think that would be a lot harder, because you'll still be in the hype window when it's time to buy. Whereas if you're like, you've 18 months, you might change your mind and go, no, I'm not going to pre-order that, I don't need that. Or I'm not going to put a pre-order down, I'm going to wait. It gives you a little bit of time to play with, where if it was like, oh, it's out now, want it or not. And you could just totally buy into the hype and end up with more things than you actually want or need.
It's funny you say that, because I'm just hitting my like almost 2 years. And I was watching
24 months, my apologies. And I was watching another channel, and somebody commented like, I'm new and it sucks to have to wait a year and a half. And everyone was like, just after your first year and a half of collecting goes by, you'll start to appreciate the wait time. It's just like you said, you know what I mean? Like I'm starting to see that now as things are rolling in. I'm like, okay, now I'm in the flow of it. You know what I mean? I'm actually in the stream. I was just kind of on the banks before. Now I'm flowing with it now.
Yeah, because when I first started, it was like, I need that one, I need that one, I need that one. And it was constant, whereas now it's like, yeah, I need the break. And when they were doing all that stuff for May 4th, I was like, holy crap.
Right.
What else is coming? What else is coming?
Yeah, and you also learn that, like that trip, right? I really wanted that figure. And when it didn't work out, I said, you know what? Let me not go crazy and pay up here for it, because I don't know what's going to come out tomorrow. And so you kind of like develop a patience that I certainly didn't have when I first started. I thought I needed everything right away, or I would never find anything ever again if I missed this chance to get it now. You know what I mean? So you start to like learn patience. And I'm not saying I'm now like the most patient collector, but I'm getting better.
I get that. I definitely get that. I definitely made a few missteps that I'd be like, no, I shouldn't have done that. And it's you learn from mistakes. I mean, I do think it's important to have a code, as you would say, putting guardrails on your collection, or finding a focus, no pun intended, or I'd be kind of the triple threat or whatever. A big one I've added into the triple threat now is like, will I like this in 10 years? Because if the answer is definitely, then it's like, okay, it's solid. But if you're like, I don't know, would you like it in 5 years? I don't know, would you like it in 2 years? Then it's a bit of a red flag. It's hard to tell what you like in 5 years, 10 years. But if the answer is yes, then it's like, okay, this is probably a safe purchase.
Especially with the softer reseller market that we've seen in the last year or so, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, before we choose the next thing, just want to thank you if you're one of the 3,307 subscribers. That's still a small channel, but I think that's a bigger number than I ever thought I was going to get. So I do appreciate the support, folks. A shout out to the members. These are the gifties. These were gifted channel memberships. So we have Loki Collector, JB, Blurred Dad Life, Malaikum Bane, who's in the chat as well, I believe. Christian Detour Collections. Then we've got the Trooper Tears, Figurecraft, who's in the chat as well. The Movie Canon, I believe, is in the chat as well. Howard Potts, Kenneth Jacobson, Danny Spotchka, Ancient Silver Fox, who's obviously a channel member and a panel member. We got Jose G. Hernandez, the fact checker, Brian Wong, the man who's driving a Lexus because of Ian, the Ben Thomas Show, We Will Always Have 800, Eddie Money Mendez, haven't seen him in ages, miss Eddie, hope he can find some time to come on the Hope Show if ever it suits him again. Looking forward to having him back. Caffeinated Comic Fan, Jim Collector, Lancelot's Nerd Corner, Mugwump, Mike L, and Ryan Smith, last but not least. Folks, got a shout out to the Commanders tier as well, who have their YouTube channel name and handle displayed at the end of all of the content like this. New videos, just one. I've been extremely busy, and I made a video on this 2 days ago. You're probably going to get my thoughts on it later on. Ian, you mentioned that you had a rough day, and to be honest, I'm admired by your kitchen building skills. I gotta say, there's no way in hell that I wouldn't even know where to start with that. I mean, you sent me a video on all the different work you to do, and I admire the skill set. I wouldn't have a clue where to start, and honestly, I was just getting a bit like just watching it, you know. So we're here to cheer you up, Ian. What do you want to pick? George Best is gone, and he played football.
Oh man, yeah, I love George Best. That was my older brother's football hero. Right, we will go for the face-off.
Ooh, okay. So I think it was last week Phil challenged Mike. Would that be correct?
I wouldn't call it a challenge, but yeah, I went up against Mike.
I think you did. So this week, Ian made the questions. So there's only the two of us. I'm going to challenge Mike. So I'm going to switch over to my private chat. But
I'm in
first,
that as well.
we've got to put on the face-off music. All right, do I have this ready? The special. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
The
everyone,
head-to-head
don't
face-off.
type in the answers, please.
Don't type in the answers. Okay, my phone has been used as a webcam, so I literally cannot use my phone. Okay,
I'll
switching
hold
over
my
to
phone
private
up
chat.
here. It's-
Okay,
No, it's okay, Michael. It's only sick note that we don't trust. Joking, Jose. I'm joking.
so Mike's got 2 in a row now, though.
Oh, those wins
believe-
are like
I
uglier
believe
than.
Jose had 2 in a row as well, so
Ah.
you're both undefeated.
Oh yes. All right. Let's see.
Okay, so who's getting to pick pot 1 or pot 2?
Mike gets to pick. He's the
Okay.
I'll go second this time.
pressure's on. First penalty. Okay,
Okay, Shane, are you ready?
no, go on.
Okay. In what year was the movie Zodiac released?
Oh, that's a good movie. That is a great movie. It's a Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's about the killer. Oh, okay. I think I saw that movie approximately, I want to say 20 years ago. In or thereabouts, maybe take off a few years. I don't know the exact year. I'm thinking it was noughties. I'm gonna go 2008.
2007.
Can I go again? No, grand. Okay, it's fine. That's right. Damn it!
That was close.
Damn it!
Okay. Thrones Office. In what year was the movie Goodfellas released?
1989.
Another year out, 1990.
God damn it.
Oh,
Really?
hard luck. Yes.
Really?
From my data, if I'm wrong. Okay. Shane, who directed the movie The Recruit?
Oh my god! I literally haven't a clue. Wait, the recruit.
I think this is a tough one.
For some reason, I have in my head that it's like an actor/director type thing. I haven't seen the movie, and I've no. I know when you explain it to me, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that, but I haven't actually seen it. The Recruit. Oh God, I don't know. Is it Ridley Scott? I'm just having a guess.
No, I actually looked it up because I liked the movie and I didn't know who it was. It's Roger Donaldson.
Would have never got that. Would have never got it.
Me neither.
Sorry. Right. Who directed the movie Lost in Translation? Thrones Office.
Sofia Coppola.
Damn He knew it.
It's the luck of picking one or two. Right.
I wouldn't have known that anyway, so maybe if we're in a bad look, I'd have no look at all. 1-0.
Who played the character the monk in Gangs of New York?
Is it Daniel Day-Lewis?
No, that was the
Butcher.
priest. It's Brendan Gleeson.
Damn it. I think I've watched that about 20 years ago. Damn it.
Okay. You've won Throne's Office, but let's go
3 in
for
a
the
row,
third
he's won.
question. So, who played the character the female in the movie Under the Skin?
I do not know. I've not seen that film.
Scarlett Johansson.
Good stuff. Okay. You've won 3 in a row. I don't know. You're saying it's more luck, but I listen.
So,
when Jose returns,
Can we announce it that the real fact checker is Throne's Office?
It's up to
I'm-
the
I don't know.
I'm
see,
just saying that.
this is the way I see it. Right? Just hear
I'm
me
just
out.
saying it.
In the UFC, right? They have their real names, and in between they have like their stage fight name, right? I think Jose's name is the fact checker. I think he owns that name, and the name of this game is Face Off. So Thrawn, well, I suppose Mike has a kind of a name, so it's like Mike Thrawn's office.
Yeah, I think Jose
Yeah.
is the fact checker. You know, I could never presume to take that title away from him. But I would love to fit. You know, it seems like a coincidence. I don't know if we're like become the same person, like Clark Kent and Superman, but we're never in the same room at the same time anymore, and it's getting a little.
This is true.
You know.
And then you throw the fact that people are saying you look like Colin Farrell into the mix. It all gets very confusing.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you know what you could do? You could have a title showdown for his title. Oh, that would make it
that'd
interesting.
be great. That'd be great. And I got to play that moment back for my wife later. By the way, the Colin Farrell compliments. Honey,
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to address some of these chats before we move on really, really quickly. So, we got Philly or Figurecraft. I have to do an episode of Visions with Philly. We're going to make that happen in the next few weeks if Philly are still up for it. He's saying probably Clone Wars Palpatine with standard rolling eyes, and that's new level. I must have missed what the chat was about there, but thank you very much for being here. So Multiverse of Madness Wanda is on his way to X-Men Supreme's house. I love this. This is good. Shiny. This is more like it. I spend my money on Hot Toys, INART and Star Race, and I wasted the rest. I like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. MB Dyson, I really like your avatar there, and I like the name as well. Who else do we got? So any other comments here? So the production time of 12 to 18 months is key for me. Come down for a high of the announcement and can't really decide if I need it. Yeah, I definitely. So I think we're kind of more or less up to date. Who else we got? All right, here we go. This what I was looking for. I had more than 2 wins. What do you mean? I don't know. Did you? You were definitely unbeaten. Was it 2 or 3? I don't think it was more than 3 now. I thought it was 2. Okay, so let's say it's 3. Then your level. Okay. Mark Attack, you're not supposed to be writing the answer in chat, but obviously, yeah, he's joking here. There's no way I could ever win this. Dates, producers, directors, writers, never remember. I like it because if the questions are hard, you feel satisfied when you actually get one right. Philly says he barely remembers his wife's anniversary. I'd be murdered on this. Good stuff. So people are just kind of answering. I see people writing answers in the chat, but I think they're purposely the wrong answers. Okay, so, but if they're not, if you're actually trying to answer the question, don't write the answer to the question in the chat. Okay, so, Mike, what do you want to pick?
Let's go with new.
Okay, what you get new this week? Anyone pick anything up? I did not.
No, I've got something coming tomorrow. Finally, I'm gonna get that. Oh, that's cool. I like that one. I'm gonna get the Kenobi Vader tomorrow. If another train doesn't derail. Yeah. So I'm excited for that one. So,
You never know. You never know. You never know.
Possible.
So yeah, I hope no trains derail and no one gets injured, but also that you get your stuff.
Exactly.
That's a big deal because that thing is one of the contenders for figure of the year, I believe. So that
You're really
Black
excited
Adam.
for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And Phil, you were holding up a Slave one there, I believe.
Yeah,
Display
this is
looks
the.
epic.
Thanks, appreciate it. It's getting a bit full now. Though. Too many troopers.
I can't have too many troopers. Don't let Mario hear you say that.
Yeah, this is the Jazzwares. I think it's Micro Galaxy.
Yeah,
Slave
they
one.
were at Star Wars Celebration.
That's right. Yeah, it's the first time I saw
good
them, and
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, for 20 quid. I mean,
Yeah, they did all sorts. They did like the A-wing, the B-wing. I think they had the
Yeah.
Blockade Runner.
there's the Razor Crest as well. I'm tempted
very,
to
very
get the
cool.
Razor Crest.
Very
I
cool.
can't. I wanted the TIE Fighter, but they've only got one that's like sort of damaged and
Yeah,
part of the wing is smashed off it, so it didn't really appeal to me. I think
you
it was
wanted
from
the regular
Mandalorian.
version.
Yeah. But
Gotcha,
I mean,
gotcha.
it even twists, when it's flat. If you
Oh,
call
it's
them
like
wings.
weighted. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty good.
What did you say there? It was weighted or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when you tilt it, I don't think they're probably too small, but the two characters are inside the cockpit there. But when it's flat, then they sort of counterbalance.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Yeah, those are cool. I see them every so often, and I'm like, oh, you know how it is. You buy one, and then you're kind of like down that road, right?
yeah. I mean, I sort of got the idea from because I think Trevor had. Did he have the AT? Was it the AT-80
There is
Walker
an
he had?
Is
as a-
Yeah.
That how he did that amazing photo
Yeah,
from May
yep.
4th.
the shot that was further back, I think. Or
Mhm.
one of
That
them, I'm
was-
sure, was Jazzwares.
Incredible.
Yeah, so
So
they're really
impressive. Like so impressive.
good. Oh, that shot
So
was amazing.
Hopefully, I'll try
Yeah.
and pull something off for the Boba Fett, but we'll see.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Looking forward to that. Ian, I think we've already touched on this before, and if you're just joining us, get comfortable. Ian could be talking for about 45 minutes on this, but what did you get new this week, Ian? You're muted. He doesn't want to talk to us. You're still muted.
Ian, that sounds too good to be true, buddy.
Right. See, that's how wasted my head is just.
You've had
This
a
week-
long few
no.
weeks, to be fair. You've had a long few
So,
weeks.
yeah, this week, hernia, depression, empty bank balance, and nothing to do with collecting. So,
Brian's looking at this now and looking at that stack going, woof.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
I do have an order in with him right now on something.
Brian will watch the
So-
stream and go, "Oh, Ian's having a bad day. Hey man, how are you? I just called to talk. Oh, I noticed you've several other figures here. Where do you plan on putting them?"
Shelves are looking a bit crowded.
Yeah, Brian, if you're watching, give me a call tomorrow. We need to talk. I've got another issue you need to help me
Oh my
with.
God.
Anyway, yeah, no, as we said, if anybody's not seen the start of the show, I got 3 Shadow Troopers, 000, Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, and technically not this week, the Batman. It was previous week, but I've not had any
What
time.
version
open
was it? I know it was the Hot Toys version,
It's,
but did you
yeah,
get
it's the
Signal?
Hot Toys one. See, 2 things. I quickly opened it to have a look, and I'm not hugely impressed by the neck connector. I don't think the magnet's that great. I've not watched any reviews on it. The cape's not that great, so I need to see how I can work that with the figure on the bat cycle, because it's going on the bat cycle, and
the
that's
neck
it.
piece. I think OT Customs do a neck piece for it to
Right.
kind of assist and help it look a bit more accurate. And,
It's not that it's accurate. It's quite. It's not strong. It's quite loose. You don't.
I think
get
it's
that-
functional as well. I could
Right.
be wrong, but yeah,
I have
I've seen
it,
a
but
few people get it.
I haven't put it on yet, but I don't know. You're saying that it's like disconnecting from the neck?
No, it's not got I'm trying to think of other figures like the mall. The mall I've got, if I'm correct. Listen, my brain's mush today. So, the mall's good for the posability. I just don't think there's something about the range on it.
Okay. Then I think maybe what Shane is saying, because there's more room with that collar, so it might not be hitting against it.
No, it's not that. It's just how it moves, and it might have been me because I quickly opened it. So that's my caveat on this. I'll properly open it and have a look in a couple of days. I want to take time and enjoy it. So
yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I feel like Father Jack out of Father Ted just now. Miserable. Drink.
He was always happy enough to me, but then again, he did have a pet brick. So the no, look, you need to. You've had a busy few weeks. You need to chill. Have a bit of have a nice glass of wine. Chat to your mates, and well, we're probably not the best company because we're just going to wind you up, like. But
no, I like that.
Yeah,
and I like the chat doing it.
Thanks very much for doing those questions. Do appreciate that. And nice and difficult. I like when they're difficult as well. You get a more sense of satisfaction when you get one right. So
yeah, that's fun.
Ian, sorry, what were you going to say, Mike?
Oh no, I was just thanking him for those questions. That was fun.
Cool. It was more fun for you because you won. Ian, what do you want to pick?
Oh, you do know I like a good app. Let's go for Aftership. Shane.
Okay. Now I could be way late to the party on this, and this app could be stealing all my data. But it's just an app I found during the week. I'm sure I'm not the first person in the chat to use this, but obviously the hobby that we're in, whether it's figures or module cases or I don't know, CCFLs, fusions, accessories, custom 3D printed, whatever, there's a lot of deliveries coming to the house and stuff like that. And I got sick of like when I get a tracking number, I used to just cut it and paste it into the notes in my phone, and then I'd have to get that and click on it or cut and paste it into some sort of tracker. And I was like, okay, does that go into the Irish An Post one, or does it Royal Mail, or does it go DHL, or I just wanted them all in the one place. So Aftership allows you to just once cut and paste the tracking numbers you receive when you get them, put them into the app. It automatically then detects what carrier that's from, if it's DHL, UPS, Hong Kong Post, Royal Mail, whatever, and then you can label it whatever you want, so you don't have to remember the tracking numbers. So for example, I put in there at the moment a Toby ship, so I just pasted it in, it recognizes Hong Kong Post, and then it I just labeled it Toby. Or there's another package for Stormtroopers, or something else for, like, I don't know, dummy batteries that I've ordered from Amazon. So on the one app, and it gives you push notifications as well. So if something moves, it like sends you notifications. Your Stormtroopers are now in, they've been shipped from Hong Kong, or your dummy batteries are now in London. And it's just really handy because all the stuff is in the one place. You only need to cut and paste once, and you don't have to look them up because you don't even have to check where it is because the notification comes to you. So if you don't get a notification, it basically hasn't moved. Really, really handy. Yeah, Aftership. It's well worth checking out. So yeah, that's the one. I posted some into our private chat as well. So yeah, that was Aftership. Check it out, folks. It might simplify your tracking life. Okay. Phil, what you want to talk about?
Sorry, I'm just putting Aftership on the phone.
Yeah,
it's
no
really
problem,
handy.
no problem. Yeah, no problem.
Should we go with... God, his name's gone from me now. Hogwarts, Harry Potter,
Ron Weasley.
Ron Weasley.
Okay.
I've literally just watched all the movies as well for the first time. You think I'd remember his name?
Oh, you only watched them recently for the first time, yeah?
Yeah, after getting back from America, I thought, I've been there twice. I've been
Yeah.
to Universal, done all the Harry Potter rides, and never watched the movie. And
Right.
Reverse
And
order.
what did you think?
Yeah.
I think they were really cleverly done in that when they were released, you sort of grew up with the movies. Because like the early ones seem really dated, and obviously they're all I don't know, 10, 11 years of age or whatever the case may be. So I imagine back then when you got into Harry Potter, every time there was a release, they were your age, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you grew up with that sort of, and I thought that was really clever. But surprisingly good. And they've aged well. I didn't realise how old the original was. You know, I'm moving onwards, but yeah, really good. For anyone who hasn't seen them, I definitely recommend.
Yeah, I always felt I think I was just too old when they came out that I didn't relate to them. But I watched them later in life, and I sound like I'm on my deathbed. But anyway, my last rites have been, I watched them not as a kid because younger sister loved them. She was always reading the books, and I think they're well-made movies. I think they did a good job of bringing them from the books to the big screen, and they always remind me of Christmas because I think a lot of them were released at Christmas, and there typically is a Christmas scene in most of them, and I really like that. So I would watch them coming up to Christmas. I wouldn't be a diehard fan, but I do think there's a certain amount of magic to them. No pun intended, but there's kind of that kind of a comfort watching feel to them. Especially the darker ones are probably better, but those are the first few. They're just really fun, harmless,
and fantastic older cast. You know, the actors they got to play in these films.
Yeah.
So many really talented actors, and
a lot of them not with us anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. I only watched them about 3 years ago, I think. Yeah. You know, I saw the first one like when it first released, and I was like, really not for me. Like you said, I was a little too old for it. But now that I'm older now, I can I think I've softened up a bit, and then I can watch things with I don't know how to explain it, but like I've got a son now. I see things a little bit differently, I guess. You know. Yeah. So, yeah, I enjoy them, and I'm going to enjoy sharing them with my kids, I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that, yeah. And I'll definitely watch them again.
You come to Edinburgh, and we'll do a pub crawl, and we'll show you all the inspiration for J.K. Rowling's character and design, everything.
Oh, yeah?
It all comes from Edinburgh.
Oh, no way. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I went on a walking tour in Edinburgh before. Now, I'm not sure you'll be able to walk by the end of the tour that Ian wants to bring me on, but I remember they brought us into this graveyard, and they pointed up and said, "See that little coffee shop up there, or see this?" Don't think the coffee shop was there anymore. They're like, "Okay, see that building over there and that window upstairs there? That used to be a coffee shop, and that's where J.K. Rowling used to write she wrote the majority of the first book. She used to go drink coffee and write her book, and then she'd get writer's block, and she'd come out and she'd go for a walk, but she'd walk across the road to a graveyard, and suddenly you're walking around the graveyard, you see." This graveyard has Tom Riddle written on it.
Oh, yes,
that's where she took some of the names from. Incredible. Edinburgh's beautiful, amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan came close to going once, and the trip got cancelled. But yes, I've always wanted to go.
That's what we're gonna do, Ian. We'll do a weekend in Edinburgh. Do a Fringe or something. We'll go over and take in the local ales and Harry Potter tours and some comedy, but
the Fringe
sounds
festival,
like a plan.
Yeah, it sounds like a great plan, man. Yeah. So you get everyone together.
Hey fellas, sorry to interrupt, but I gotta go to work, unfortunately.
No problem, man.
But,
you could always quit your job, but then you couldn't pay for the plastic, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, well, thanks again, guys. Always great seeing you.
Pleasure.
Thanks for being.
Hey,
see you,
have a nice day at work.
Yeah.
See ya.
So, what about this? Is anyone? This is so INART to basically put this up. We have seen teases of, not really teases. They've actually showed us early prototypes of this, and it looked quite good. But now Ron Weasley, INART 6 scale figure. It's the second in their Harry Potter line that that is officially gone up for pre-order, because Harry Potter is obviously gone up for pre-order, and they're going to do Hermione. We've seen that as well, or some prototype images of it. So this is going up on the 16th of May, so that's in 3 days' time. Does anyone in the panel have an interest in pre-ordering this? I personally don't, but I think the Harry looks incredible. I'm sure this is going to look incredible. I'm sure eventually Hermione as well. It's just not something that I have an attachment to. While I appreciate the movies and I appreciate the details, the little scarves and the school clothes and stuff, and all the tailoring in this and the sculpts, I just not something that I could spend that much money on. Anyone on the panel interested in this or want to give thoughts on this?
No, they're incredible figures. What they've shown us so far, and I mean, like you, I mean, I've now watched all the movies. I wouldn't class myself as a fan, but I really enjoy the movies. But I can imagine if I was a fan, God, to see these, because they're fanatical. I mean, Florida is the same with, I believe, the tour in London. The fans are probably more fanatical than the Star Wars fans. So if I was a fan, then yeah, these would all be coming home. But unfortunately, no, not for me. But they do look incredible, as you say. The clothing, the accessories, the likeness, everything about them.
X-Men Supreme is wondering, do they have shoelaces? I have not got a clue. I presume they do. The INART Joker, I believe. 1 second, I'll check now. He's got a point. The INART Joker doesn't really have shoelaces. It has like kind of like plastic things to represent shoelaces. So maybe that's what he's getting at. Which is strange because I think... Does the DX11 Joker have shoelaces? Yeah, anyway, so maybe that's what he's getting at. That's a good point. Ian?
Yeah, Shane, this is the first time I've seen the photo or the release. As I said, I've been a bit lost this week. But for me, no, I'm not getting Harry Potter. I'm not getting Ron. I'm not getting Hermione. At all. I really do I like the books. I like the movies. Lucy's a huge fan, and I could see us getting something for the movie room, but not the children age. We want maybe something else. For me, I wouldn't have that unless I knew that there was some of the more adult characters to round them off. But I think it's more the later, darker stuff. If we were to get something that would,
you want like a maybe movie 6, 7, or 8 Harry when he's kind of a teenager, young adult.
Yeah, and more like some of the other characters, the darker element that we would probably look at getting. But yeah, when they're older, I think that's where. Lucy loves the Harry Potter Lego. She's got quite a lot of that, so I think it would be the older stuff. So, but hey, listen, and I know in Japan, Harry Potter's massive, absolutely massive. They're all crazy. You talked about Edinburgh and the festival. A lot of them come over at that time and dress up, cosplaying Harry Potter. So I think this will do quite well, but no, it's not for me. But I think they'll kill this.
Yeah, I think. I wonder, will they do they seem to have commit. They look like they're committing to doing Harry, Ron, and Hermione from like the first movie, and I think that would be a really nice trio. I think that's a great representation, even if they gave you nothing else. But Costa's saying they're Snape. Like, that would be incredible. A lot of these figures, a lot of these characters from these movies lend themselves naturally to good figures. Like, they are striking looking. So Snape, Dumbledore, is it Sirius Black? Is it Gary Oldman?
Black. Gary Oldman, yeah.
Helen Bonham characters. Is it Bellatrix
Prisoner
or
of
something?
Azkaban was a good book. It was darker. I think the movie was quite good, but the book was really good. So that darker element, I think, was quite good. But yeah, I agree with that. Snape and
yeah, I think so. Yeah. So look, I'll always have a look at the inner figures. I think they're stunning, and hopefully this one's no different than Hermione as well. I think Hermione, some of the earlier images looked questionable, but that's INART all over. Their earlier images tend to look a bit questionable, and then usually they do kind of they seem to deliver. Even though they've only delivered 3 figures, they were a very, very high standard, so hopefully they'll keep that standard. I suppose what INART is there. So what will they have so far? They've got the Rooted Joker, the Pennywise, the Gandalf, and look, they've the new Batman out now. I know it's early days and they've only had the first early batches or influencer batches, whatever you want to call them, but yeah.
Shane, you're like me. You like figures that have got layers and the tailoring, and it's done well, and that's where I think third-party companies, in my opinion, couldn't do this well because the tailoring and the layering is done really well. So,
yeah, I agree. And that's what's really impressive about these tiny figures. That you know, it's hard to get like on a regular size, like I know, character that's supposed to be like 5'10", 6 foot or whatever in real life, and then to have the body just narrow enough that it doesn't look skinny, but narrow enough that the tailoring is fitted enough that it doesn't look bulky. Whereas on a figure that's smaller, they'll probably have to use like extra thin bodies, extra thin materials maybe, so it doesn't look so bunched up. So I'm just really impressed by the tailoring, that's what I'm saying. I think INART has a license for the first movie because they're also doing Dumbledore. Did we see a tease of Dumbledore before? I can't remember. I think possibly they actually showed us some images. I can't remember. Let us know in the chat. All right, so that's no one on the panel. Looking forward to the announcement and the prototype images, but no, with the Harry Potter line won't be for me. Okay, so if you're just joining us, you're one of the 47 people watching live, thank you very much. If you're watching the replay, also thank you very much. Please consider hitting the like button, subscribe button, and if you want to support the channel in a different way, consider becoming a channel member. We have talked about an app called Aftership. I challenged and failed to beat Mike in Face Off, who's just left us. We've spoke about Ron Weasley, the INART announcement. We've had a look at some of the best announcements of this year, discussed the new this week. So what's left is you have the Cannon Monster, the Loki, the Snap, and then you have the sculpt there from Yixie. Phil, you can choose. What do you want to talk about, Phil?
We'll go with the Cillian Murphy head sculpt then, Jerry. I believe that's what it is.
Good stuff. That's exactly what it is. It's a Yixie sculpt from a custom that is coming out. So I'll just share this real quickly. Okay, so what you're going to be looking at here, you're going to be looking at, this is Yixie, so it's on Instagram. I think the X sound is like a sh sound. I think it's actually Yixie. I've heard I think I heard
Yixie, yeah.
Joao pronounce it like that, and I remember someone else saying something like an X. I think I think it's like that, an SH sound. Please don't quote me on that. But so look, this they're a professional sculptor, and they do commissions, and they have done some work for Hot Toys. So just scrolling down through their Instagram here, so you can see an amazing Hugh Jackman Wolverine there on the right. Typically what they do is they make the sculpt and then someone else like paints it or roots it, I believe. I think that's how it works. Here's some kind of raw sculpts here. They have done, I think the recent Maul 2.0, the sculpt was done by him. And then just scrolling down, there's a lot of great stuff here. We're going to take a look at the Oppenheimer one, but there's a few other ones that I wanted to kind of draw. That Daniel Craig one looks amazing. The Oppenheimer on the right here is kind of like an example of what the final product may look like. I think it's getting closer and closer to production. I'm looking down through here because there's a few of the, I think that Flash on the left there, that was a commission for Hot Toys as well, the one on the left there. Possibly that one as well. I think that Toby might have been, I think that Tobey Maguire on the left there, I think that's the Bully Maguire one. I think he was commissioned for that as well. But if you click into them anyway, they have tells you who's commissioned for. So look, I don't want to go through them all, but look, he's a very good sculptor. So this is a post they put up last week, and it just showed a bunch of ties because they usually just does this sculpt, someone else paints them, and then he's actually sourcing a body for this. And it's not just the sculpt that they're selling the full thing. I think it's limited to 35 pieces. This is something I'm very, very interested in picking up for multiple different reasons. This is just like some of the kind of a production updates that look, this is the tie that he's using for this figure. So he outsources the ties and the materials to other people, I believe, and they make them, and he just does the sculpt and then puts it all together. So with the version I'm getting, which is the full, it's the Cillian Murphy painted head sculpt, and then the actual Oppenheimer scientist unpainted, which I don't know if I'll ever get painted because I'm getting this for the Cillian Murphy Christopher Nolan movie representation. So this is what it's looking like. So obviously this one's been painted. I can't remember if the eyes are movable. I don't think they are. I can't remember. So it says there a little update on Project Oppenheimer, tie by Dino, yeah. One of the painting version head by, I think it's, I'm going to butcher this, I think it's Ang Data Yang. I absolutely butchered that. He'll be in charge of all the painted versions, and there's some of the resin heads as well. And these are just different angles. So I'm particularly impressed by this. I looked at it and said, God, he looks pretty old, but then again, certain parts of the movie, he had graying in the hair and the makeup, he did look a lot older than the actor actually looks like. So I think this is a very good depiction of Cillian Murphy as he appeared in the movie Oppenheimer. What do you think?
Shane, I'm not getting this. I love the movie. I love him as an actor. And it's quite hard because he's quite gaunt in this movie. Absolutely. I think he's lost quite a bit of weight, hasn't he? So,
yeah, he's not a big man, but he definitely looked very, he looked gaunt in it, he did. Yeah,
and so to do that and recreate that, I'm quite impressed by this, because I think that's a lot harder than, well, certainly I couldn't do it, but I find that type of figure would be, or head sculpt, quite hard to do. So I think they've recreated this quite well, because when I saw they were first doing this, I thought, wow, this is a very, very difficult head sculpt to do. Gone, and because I relate to him, and for my sins, I relate to Cillian Murphy in different things, different movies, Peaky Blinders, and he looks a little bit different. And I think they've done a really great job. I think if they had rolling eyes, it would elevate this, particularly because of the contrast around the face. The slight movement, I think, the eye bags, he's got quite prominent cheekbones. So, but yeah, it looks great. I hope it. I mean, it's blown up as well, so I think some things would, for me, when I look at a figure from distance, the contrast softens. So I'm looking at it and I think the hat on, and does it come with a hat?
Yeah, that's my next move now. What I'll do is I'll show you the original post that I saw. So obviously this is an update. He's probably annoyed because I'm always going, so can I pay a deposit? And he's like, not yet. So it's like, most people just take your money and run. And I was kind of saying, roughly when it'll be ready. I'm kind of trying to plan, obviously, because I do want this and it is quite expensive. But he's kind of saying maybe July, August. So this is the original post. Version 1, full sets with 2 head sculpts, actor and scientist, but they're both unpainted. Version 2 then, full set with 2 head sculpts and the actor and scientist's actor's head painted. So it's only the actor's head painted. That's the one I'm looking for. It's quite expensive. You're talking about $900, but obviously it's a custom head sculpt. I believe they're limited to 35. I'm not sure if that's set in stone, but that's for the full figure. So it's have custom head sculpt, Cillian Murphy painted, the Oppenheimer unpainted, but I might necessarily use that, but I've always the option then if I want to get it painted I can. And comes with this. This is the look. This is the hat, the kind of, I suppose, beige brown suit with the, I think it's K6 written on it, the tie and stuff like that. The pipe comes with, and a bunch of different swap out hands which have the seamless wrists and stuff. funny, when I was watching Oppenheimer in the cinema for the first time, I remember looking up when he came out. They were in the kind of I call it the fake town, where they're actually making the bomb, the town they kind of basically built, and were making the bomb and stuff. He came out at one stage in this outfit, and I was like, that would be awesome. But I was like, yeah, it'll never be something I'd have the opportunity to get, and it probably would be something very different to what I'd normally get. But I saw this and I couldn't kind of stop looking at this here.
Here's the thing for you, Shane. I know you do Triple Threat, but maybe a different spin on Triple Threat. I mean, he's Irish.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a phenomenal actor. He's like Oscar that's here, and overall, it just looks a great figure. It certainly stand out from collections where it's all superheroes or
yeah.
what. I mean, you're Irish. You're a scientist.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this is it. Like, I presume you called him a scientist, because there's a big difference from being a science teacher and a scientist. I definitely don't consider myself a scientist. You educate the future generation, the future scientists. So hopefully, I'd like to think that maybe even in your whole year, in your whole career, you get like one person who goes on to make a difference. But I like, if you take the Triple Threat, did I love the movie? Yeah. Did I love the character? I loved Cillian Murphy's portrayal of the character.
Yeah.
And did I love this version? I just basically explained this particular suit is kind of the one that's the most cinematic, I suppose. You know, the hat and the tie and the suit and the K6 badge and stuff like that, the pipe. This would be the pose, like. But like, you're right though. I mean, it's from my favorite director. It did win Best Picture. He did well-deserved win Best Actor. He's got, like, I mean, like the Oscars, like, you know, I can take him or leave him, to be honest. It's a bit of a popularity contest, but I'm glad he got the nod. Like, you know, I presume there's actors who their goal is to get an Oscar. It doesn't mean that if you don't get one, you're not a good actor. That's ridiculous. It's just, it's a nod. I like the way he was recognized for his performance. And of course, like, it's nice. I have his signature up there on the Peaky Blinders one. So, yeah, I just think, and he's Irish, yeah, and I'm just really excited about this. But yeah, it is expensive. I was messaging Bob Dylan about it, and he said, "You've broadened your focus now to include customs." I'll be, no, this is dangerous, man. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I'll be fine. He's like, yeah. I don't think he was fully convinced. He's like, no, it's like, I got the vibe I've taken a bigger step into a larger world, but this is, I hope it turns out as good as this. I'm really impressed by it. So, not for everyone, but it will be for me. Phil, what are your thoughts? Any critiques?
No, not at all. I think it's astonishing. Absolutely phenomenal. Probably just second what Ian said, really, that if there was one way to improve it, would be rolling eyes, maybe. But
I don't know.
I mean, you're not going to get him in any dynamic poses, are you, really? So do you need...
I'm doing backflips. I hope he comes to the flight stand. And if he comes to that goddamn sand base, I swear to God, I'll send it back.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen the movie, Shane? Just out of interest.
The thing is, let's be honest, it's not a movie you're like, oh, I've had a long, hard day at work. Do you know what I want to do? It's not that type of movie. I only saw it once in the cinema, but there's this guy I know who, he sent me these 4Ks, and now it's a little bit of an obsession. But I picked up all of Nolan's 4Ks, and I had it actually on Apple. I had the Apple Stream bought, and I'd watched that twice. So once in the cinema, I'd watched it twice. Actually, I watched it 3 times because I watched it once with my parents. Some of those scenes were awkward. And then I watched it once in the 4K, so only about 5 times. But yeah, it's just one of those movies you watch for the cinematography, really, and the music and everything, and the acting. It's not like an easy watch, we'll say. But so I could understand why this would be like not for people, you know. So yeah, any other thoughts on this before we move on?
Not from me, no.
Cool.
Great figure.
Cool. Thanks for indulging me on that one. I am excited. I'll let you know as I get more information. So I don't expect to have this this side of the summer. Like I'd say, it'll be after post New Zealand. I'd imagine might get a deposit paid at some stage. So yeah, just going to address the chat really quickly and then we'll move on because I see Alan the Six Scale Gallery there, who is a living legend. This looks good, but I can't go down the custom road. I get that. I 100% get that. Shiny, this man, yeah, he's on form. He said blown up. Yeah, he's really blown up. I think that was actually, was that Ian? I don't know if you meant that. This is really blown up. Yeah, I don't know if you meant that.
I
But
did not mean that. I did not mean that.
You can't turn
I was
it.
not
You can't turn
splitting
it
the
off.
atom.
Yeah, you can't turn it off. Just $900. That's statue money. Yeah, you're paying for, I suppose, the custom nature of it and the standard of the custom nature, and then it has to be separately painted. And yeah, I'd imagine it is steep. Look, I know, it's absolutely steep. I just saw this comment. They're really hoping Hot Toys does Wolverine Artisan or DX. You never know. They could do it. If Yixie makes a Deckard from Blade Runner, I'm all in. I don't know, have they? You should follow him on Instagram and go down through them. He very well might, and he does commissions. Shiny, I'd actually love a real scientist line of people. Oppenheimer, Feynman, Einstein, Bohr, everybody, but no one would make anyone other than Einstein. Well, you have this one. You have one Oppenheimer. I suppose it's customs, really, is if you really wanted that, but it costs you an arm and a leg. And here we go. Alan, I have a Steve Rogers sculpt by Yixie. Does amazing work. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're back here. So what's left? I believe we've talked about everything apart from Loki. We haven't done the snap. I don't know how. And then the Cannon Monster. They're the three remaining things. Ian, do you want to pick, or what are you in the mood for?
Oh, So we done a figure there. Let's go for the snap.
Okay, it's that time, folks. It is the time. Okay, so shout out to the 48 people watching live. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. As usual, pinned to the live chat in the description, there's a link to channel memberships. If you're watching a replay, much appreciated as well. So, I'm going to throw 3 images up here one at a time, and each images there's 2 options, and you have to choose which one gets Thanos snapped out of existence, turned to dust. Seeing as it's Artisan Fever, yeah, we're pitching the artisans against each other for the next 3 slides. So, which one would you turn to dust? Artisan God Loki or Artisan Luke Skywalker? Ian.
Okay, so Luke Skywalker is a preferred character of mine. I really liked Loki season 2. I've got like 7 or 8 Lukes. I'm not getting.
You have how many Lukes?
I think I've got 7. Hold on.
He's having a Luke. I couldn't help myself. Did you like that one, Phil?
I've got 8.
8?
I've got 8 here. Yeah. All
okay. I have
all
to.
Original trilogy apart from Mando Luke. So
Wait, so you've got Farm Boy. You've got Bespin. Do you have the DX07 as well as the new one?
yeah.
So wouldn't that be 3 Bespins, really?
I've got Crate Luke.
Snowspeeder,
I've got Stormtrooper Disguise Luke.
Mandalorian Luke.
Yep. Fanboy. I've got Hoth Luke.
Yeah.
Another Bespin Luke. I've got Endor Luke. And Snowspeeder Luke.
That's a lot of Lukes. So who would you snap?
So I would actually snap Luke. In terms of figure, I'm not getting either, but I really like the tailoring of this Loki. There's something different about this figure I really like. So yeah, sorry to say, bye bye Luke.
Yeah. What about yourself, Phil?
I mean, if you were getting the Loki, are you ever going to display without the horns on? I mean, I wouldn't personally. That's how I remember that scene from the TV show. So, and does it need to be artisan if he's got horns on his head? Personally, I don't think so. But Luke Skywalker, I had vague recollections of him being in a comic book, but I had no idea that this was the thing. I would never get this Luke to put in my display because I've got nothing to put him with, really. And I'm not keen on the look of it. So yeah, I'd snap Luke, keep the Loki. But personally, I probably wouldn't get the artisan Loki. I would get the sculpted because
I
Because the
agree,
horns.
Phil. The sculpted looks better to me.
yeah.
We're definitely going to be talking about that. For me, I didn't like the Loki TV show, either season 1 or 2, although I did like his final conclusion, his eventual glorious purpose that he's been seeking for the entire existence in the MCU. I did think I liked the way he got that closure, and I know he's still around, but it felt like an end. He was always the kind of like, I suppose, like he was always in Thor's shadow, and he was never going to be like king of Asgard or whatever. He was always kind of looking for something, and now he has that purpose. And I thought it was actually, that bit was very well done, even though the two shows I just didn't really do it for me. So because I didn't like the source material, I'd never get God Loki. Whereas Luke Skywalker, I'm not getting that either, but from hearing people's descriptions of what happens in the Dark Empire comic, I'd love to pick that up and read all 6 episodes, and I probably will, because I'm really interested. It seems like a really interesting concept.
Yeah, same here.
And
Same here.
if I read that and really like it, maybe I'll want this. So again, probably not, but that's the way I'm thinking. I know I don't want the God Loki. I know I don't like the source material, but I will read Dark Empire. So therefore, I'd have to snap God Loki on this one. So that's my logic there. Just because we're doing them in order, so you obviously know what the next one's going to be. So, what would you snap, Ian?
It's Scarlet Witch all day long, because I've not pre-ordered that, but I have with
Makes sense.
Jack Sparrow, and plus it's the layers, everything that's on that, and it's little. So I collect Star Wars, Marvel, DC is the main, but I've got a movie thing in terms of iconic, and I want Jack Sparrow there to please the rest of the family.
Yeah.
But I love the first one. So I relate this to the first movie. I thought it was iconic. I really, really like Johnny Depp. But this figure blends the different fabrics, the rooted, the plastic so well. It gives that depth. I love it. So apart from the IP, this is an easy one for me. Keeping Jack Sparrow. Sorry, Scarlet Witch.
I figured that was going to be an easy one for you. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, same for me. I haven't ordered the artisan Jack, but I have ordered a Jack Sparrow, and I've got no interest in the Scarlet Witch, to be fair.
Okay.
I like Scarlett Johansson, and I like, I quite like the character, but this representation, I've got no interest.
This is Elizabeth Olsen, but like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But no, you're right. I get what you're Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be sneaky on this one. I haven't got either of these ordered. I wouldn't have my original when I was making this. I'd be like, okay, Snapjack, because I do have an endgame display, and I would like to pick up a Wanda, and this would slot right into my endgame display. But then I was like, okay, when they did this, they did a rooted and a sculpted version, and I'm not gone on this rooted hair, to be honest. I'm not gone on the volume of it. I think the sculpted one actually looks fine for the amount that I like the character. I'm not like a die-hard Scarlet Witch fan. So if I was getting it, it'd be to slot into the endgame display, and I think the sculpted her would be fine. So I'd actually snap the artisan version of this, pick up the artisan version of Jack, scalp the shit out of that in the aftermarket, and then use that to fund the sculpted version of Wanda and whatever else I want. That's capitalism, folks. That's capitalism. So that's exactly what I do. Okay, these boys. This might be a bit more of a tricky one, but Ian, what do you think?
Nope, not tricky for me either. So I'm not getting either of these, and I've got the best version of the Joker by far. It's in my opinion, going by the prototype here and the physical foe that I've got, even though the motherfucker took a head dive on my case today. Anyway, right, so...
What pose did you have him in? I'm just curious.
He owes you a super chat for that.
It's actually in this pose. I've not changed it up forever. I've had it in 2 poses before, and it's been in this for... In fact, I took photos. It's in this pose since I got it, really. And it's not changed. I've not put anything else in. And then there it was, luckily, against the Perspex of the Moji case, on the hair, not the face. So, but yeah, easy for me. I'm not a huge fan of this from what I've seen from Hot Toys on this version. In my opinion, that's all. I don't want to upset anybody, but and it came out at the time I was quite sick of this figure. So, and I love it. I love the movie. I love this figure. So I'm not getting either of these, but I would snap the Joker on this. Yeah.
Okay. And Phil?
Same as you, and I'm not getting either of these. Still quite tricky though, because if I was going to get a Joker, I'd probably go INART, because that's the definitive Joker. And if I was getting the Anakin, I'd rather the dark side. But for presentation from the photographs, I'd probably snap Anakin and keep the Joker.
Interesting. I've my thoughts on this one were I'm very, very similar to the two of you in the sense that, like what Ian said, I don't think that this figure is going to be better than the rooted INART Joker. I just don't see it happen. And I'm basing that a lot on the hair.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky that all of these 6 artisans so far, I have ordered none of them. I haven't even tried because I have no interest. Because I have the rooted Joker, so therefore I don't feel the need to get this one. I don't collect prequels, so don't feel the need to get the one on the right. The Wanda, yeah, I like the character. I'm not rushing out to get one. If I did, I think the sculpted would do, so I wasn't in the market for one of them. I'm not a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Not really a fan of that. Good movies, not enough for me to buy one. The Luke, I haven't read the comic book comes from, so why would I buy something like that? And the Loki, I've got the Endgame Loki, fine. The sculpt on the new one is way better, but for the amount that I like Loki, it does its job, fits into the Endgame display. But there will come a time where they will put up an artisan limited figure and I'll just love that character and I'll want it. For example, they do a rooted artisan Sarah Connor or a Ripley from Alien or Aliens. I'm in like Flynn. Do you know what I mean? That's like, I need to make that happen. Whether I go Sideshow or contact a Hong Kong retailer or whatever, it's something I'll be in. It's going to happen. So it's in my interest for these to turn out well. No one should be hoping for these to fail. Because there'll come a time when you're like, I want that artisan figure. That's tickling my fancy. I'm into that. That's a triple threat, whatever. So it's within our interest for this stuff for them to actually succeed. So I really, really hope that the Joker and Anakin here, they actually, like, in fairness, Anakin on the right, the way they've styled the hair in the prototype images is incredible. But the hair on the Joker in the prototype images on the left, And even in some of the images we've seen coming out of like different showcases, it doesn't look great. So I'm not too confident about it, but I hope it's good. But what would I snap here? Yes, I'd obviously snap the Joker here because I do think the INART, based on this picture and any other pictures I've seen, I think the INART one is better. Maybe they come out and they blow it out of the water. More power to them if they do. But I'd snap the Joker on this one. Even though I'm not a prequels collector, I think the one on the right, Anakin, looks incredible if it comes out like that. Now, we have seen the sideshow. We saw this in the back of some sideshow showcase last summer and it looked awful. But that could have been just transported from Hong Kong. The hair could have been overplaced, and the person whose job it was to put it out probably just put it up there instead of actually styling it and futzing with it. And no one is going to care as much about how your figure looks as you. So you're going to put that extra time into it. So based on that, I'd snap the Joker. I really hope that the Anakin turns out as good as these prototype images for the people that want it. But I'd keep that, and if I would have to display it, I would display it with the Kenobi Vader. I think that would be cool. You have the Anakin before he turns dark side, and then you've got the Kenobi Vader with the... I think that'd be cool. And when I was putting this slide together earlier on, I was like, I wonder, could I get that somewhere? I don't think I think I just snapped myself into wanting one of these, but I was like, no, come on, stay in your lane. That's crazy talk. But yeah, think about Oppenheimer. Yeah, so that's what I do there. But yeah, my key takeaway, what I'd like people to take away from that is, we shouldn't be out there hoping for these guys to fail. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to come a time where you'll want an artisan figure, and you'll hope that they've delivered on all the artisan hair so far. So when they eventually release a figure that you're like, you put it up for pre-order, that you are that Ripley from Alien or Aliens, that Sarah Connor from 1 or 2 or whatever, you know that you can trust that they will deliver on the good hair. Sorry, Ian, what were you going to say?
No, I totally agree with what you say, and I'm like the same. I've been calling out for a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman for so long, and if it takes 5 years to get a battle damaged Catwoman artisan, something like that, I'm all for that. So we want these companies to grow. I'm not a huge fan of this Joker, if I'm honest, but you know, let's see what they can do.
Do you mean the Hot Toys version, or do you mean this Joker in general?
No, yeah, this Hot Toys version from the photo. I've never felt any connection to it, and I feel very happy with my INART Jokers that I've got just now, apart from when it face planted my case.
I'm so glad you said that, because the chat and Shiny and me and Phil were definitely going to say that. But was it okay though when it fell? Was it okay?
Very lucky that it went onto his hair, even though he's got receding hair. But yeah, it wasn't on the face, so yeah, quite lucky. It was one of those days, everything was just going wrong. I walk into that room, and I sent you that photo. I was like,
yeah, I knew you were having a bad day already, and I was like, oh, he really didn't need that. He really didn't.
But
need
yeah,
that.
it was okay.
But some men just want to watch the world burn, Ian.
But yeah, it's quite interesting to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Your dream artisan figure, what would that be? Shiny.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Shiny, like he's always like goofing around and saying funny stuff, and then he hits you with some knowledge, and he hits you, it comes out. That's a great question. Why can't I find it? Like what is wrong? Where is it? Where's it gone? There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
What's everyone's dream artisan?
At the moment, I want that Tina head sculpt for the Bo-Katan. Desperately. So I'm not sure whether she's opening commissions and that again, but hopefully. But that's a really tough question, because like I'm a trooper guy, so they're all helmeted anyway, so you don't
just have a trooper helmet and then like some blonde hair coming out the bottom.
Yeah. Or even, I don't know, well, I mean, technically, I suppose Chewbacca is artisan, isn't he? He never released it.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
wonder will they
way
ever
back.
do that? Like, you know, it's if it's 150. You see the difference between like the sculpted Loki and then the artisan Loki. And I think it's $155. So if that's the price of a head of rooted hair, what about like a 7 foot tall Wookiee? Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
yeah. I'll go Ripley from Alien or Aliens. I'll take either or Sarah Connor, but yeah.
Me, I would take an Agent Silver Fox in a kilt across an Aston Martin and deep in Glencoe. Let's go. Can
Yeah, it
somebody
could be-
do
could be very limited.
artisan off this silver locks? Come on.
Well,
They
they
have
did
swap
Gandalf.
out
And he's
shorts.
yeah,
Talk about narcissism, eh?
I'm guessing
No,
yours is Michelle Pfeiffer.
For me, yeah, it would be. I just want that figure in 6 scale in any form if it's really good and preferably licensed. So that's the one I would really, really want. So
Yeah.
or Slave Leia.
Yeah,
But that's an overall figure, not just that artisan, but I'd quite like that to be rooted. So those are my 2 favourites behind Agent Silver Fox and Glencoe.
yeah, that's fair. Michael Lake, I like your display. Looks super clean. How did you hide the cord for the Bespin Luke base? I'm not sure if he's talking to me or ye. Do you have the Bespin Luke base lit up? Anyone?
No, I think.
I do,
Is that
but you
you?
can't see him.
All right. Maybe he's watched some of the videos or something.
Oh,
I have it on the
um,
bottom of the Bleledens. When I got these 7 Bleledens, I got a thing called a hole saw. It's basically like you can get them in different diameters, and it's just designed to drill a hole. You attach it onto the end of a saw instead of a drill bit, and it just drills a hole of different diameters, whatever you want. And I drilled in the back, in the middle of the base. It's like a metal black base of all the Bleledens, and I just, before I assembled them, drilled a hole in each of them. So I feed all the cables down through them. So the Bespin Luke base is quite simple because there's kind of wires and stuff in the back of it. So kind of the wires there, it just looks like it fits in because there's pipes and stuff coming off it, and just goes straight down through the hole, so you don't even notice it. Then for like, say the Iron Man above me, that's actually lit up. It's kind of hard to tell there. The cords are so small, they're very hard to see, and I just put them into the back, like right corner, and just stick them in there with black tape, but you just can't see them to camouflage in. But I think I did a video on it there if you want to check.
You do,
them out,
you
but
do hide the cables really well, Shane, to be fair to you.
I appreciate that, and it's like kind of it bothers me when I can see them. And I'm actually thinking about, I had this little idea today because I was looking at, I think it was the Mark 6. There's only a little bit of cable you can see, but what if you had like a base that was like custom made, which is exact same length and width of the Bleleden, but it was a little bit tall, like there was a little bit of an empty space inside it, and you could have maybe, I don't know, something printed on the top, like, I don't know, a road, or you know, it could be like, I don't know, something printed. It could be just like, I don't know, like a pavement or metal grill or something like that. And if there was a hole that you could like take a piece off, feed the wires down underneath, and there'd be a little tiny bit of space there, then feed it out the back, you'd never see the wires and just look like a base. So I'm gonna have a think about that and see if I can get some of them made.
Michael's
Just
just
really, really
commented
simple.
there now. It was on one of your shorts, he spotted it, he said.
Ah, right. And I hope I've explained it there, but yeah, lots of great comments here. So Harley with the leather suit is one of the kind of artisans that X-Men Supreme would like. T800 from Terminator 1, yeah, that'd be cool. Wonder how to do with the short-haired stuff. Ripley from Aliens, Deckard from Blade. Yeah, 3 great examples. So who else we got? Stanley saying a Slave Leia would be great. Artisan Black Widow from Iron Man 2. A That comes up quite a bit. I think that's going to happen. I think it's only a matter of time before they do Artisan Black Widow. Casey Jones from the Turtles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Artisan Obi-Wan. That could happen as well. I think a Farm Boy is inevitable now. They're going to do an updated 2.0 Farm Boy. They're going to put that hair or some version of that hair. I do think that's going to happen. And it's not too... Oh, yeah, thanks very much. The bleedings are... I like them. It's kind of, Randall is here as well. It's still on. Yay. Randall. How are you? I think your friend was here earlier on. I think it's Costa. Your mates, aren't you? Alright, so we'll go back to this stuff. We're kind of got 2 topics left. And... Ian, do you want to choose?
What's left? Monster and...
Loki.
Okay. Let's go Monster.
Okay, so I'll keep this story brief. I was in a good mood today. Had a good day. And it just got a bit better when I came home. So, alright, so I'll start from the start. Star Wars Celebration last year, 2023, in London. I get on a plane from Dublin at something like, I don't know, I got up at like 4 or 5 a.m. I was on a really, really early flight from Dublin to London. Literally just got into the airport, got the train into London. All the tubes were working apart from the one tube which brought me exactly to the Excel. So I ended up, or to my hotel. So I ended up having to get this cable car, which was really, really cool, which brought me to my... It was a long journey, that's what I'm saying. It was a really sunny day. I had drank absolutely nothing. Like, I don't think I had eaten or drank. I just wanted to get there, and so I was like dehydrated. I get into the Excel, the first thing I do is I get a bottle of water and just like neck it because I'm completely dehydrated. Meet a bunch of different content creators, and I run into Austin Nicholas and his lovely girlfriend Rachel. I was chatting to them and a few other people, and they were like, hey, we need to go get a drink. Do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, definitely, because I was like literally only had that one bottle and I knew I needed to drink more water. So we get in the queue and I buy a bottle of water, and I see that they're drinking cans of Monster. It's not something I normally... I just don't normally drink sugary drinks and stuff like that. It's usually water, coffee, whatever. But yeah, I like a can of Coke, whatever. But it's not something I typically drink. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of a bit tired. I think I could do with a caffeine boost, a bit of sugar, and I just didn't want to drink the other bottle of water. I was like, just threw my didn't open it, just tot out of it and put it in my coat, and I had a can of Monster. And it just did the trick, got some more fluids, sugar, caffeine, got a bit of a buzz going. I was like, this is great. Like, I perked up a bit like a decent coffee would or whatever. And I was like, oh, that was a good cut. That wasn't half bad. And for a few weeks or months after, when I came home, if I was feeling like a little bit sluggish or whatever, I'd have a can of Monster. And I text Austin and say, this is your fault. You've started me on this addiction. I was fine before I met you, and now I have this addiction. But anyway, later on that day, after having the can of Monster, I went in, and there was a bunch of us. You were there, Ian, I believe, and there was a bunch of other people as well, a crowd of us. And we were at the main stage, and we were like, listening to the interviews from, I don't know, whoever, Rosario Dawson or Diego Luna, or whoever it was. A great day. But the crowd was wedged, and it was very hard to get from A to B. I mean, the three of us were there in London. Especially that first day, it was absolutely wedged. It was very hard to get from A to B, even if you just wanted to go to the bathroom or get from one area to the next. There was queues, it was wedged, the Wi-Fi was bad. It was getting just to get a bottle of water was an ordeal. And we were up at the more or less the front of the main stage, and we're all wedged together. And Sean Lewis was there, Spice Runner. You definitely would have seen him on stream, stuff like that. He's a collector, and he's in the community and stuff. We were all wedged in, and he was like, oh, I'm thirsty. I need to get a drink of water. And I was like, he just turned to walk away. And I was like, I don't want this guy having to walk all the way over to the nearest water place, which is where we just come from. And it was taking I don't know, it was such a tight environment. He would probably spend half an hour just getting there and then queue for another 10 minutes just to get it. So I just went, oh, here you go. And he's like, oh, thanks very much. That's really nice. And I was like, I didn't want you having to walk through over there, and I had it and I wasn't using it. Sealed. Just, yeah, no problem. You're welcome there. I would have done it for anyone. So I tried to get Star Wars Celebration tickets like 2 weeks ago. Stayed up late. It was midnight our time. And I stayed up late, joined the queue, 45 minutes in the queue. Queue moved on. I was like, okay, this is looking good. I get in. Everything's in Japanese. I don't know what they're asking me for, which one is address and which one is this and that. So I take a photo. I translate it to Japanese. Fine. Get all that done. Everything apart from the drop-down menu, which is just a bunch of Japanese. It's obviously countries written in Japanese. I'm like, I don't know what Ireland is in Japanese. Used Google Translate, narrowed it down, found it fine. Entered my credit card details with like 10 seconds left to go. Payment pops up in my Revolut, because I did a Revolut credit card, and next thing it blocked a transaction and froze it. So I was like, because they obviously Revolut recognized, this is, you're using a Japanese website you don't normally use. You know, I'm glad it's security and all that, but went back in, all the tickets were gone. So I was like, right, okay, maybe I'll just rule out going to Japan. Never been to Japan. I'd love to go to Japan, and it'd be great to go to Japan and also go to Star Wars Celebration at the same time. Fine. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of people who were going, and they were talking about getting their tickets and all this. So I'm thinking, right, what do we do now? Do I just go maybe get like three different like single days, and they were still available? Then the Saturday sold out. So anyway, I come home. I notice in the chat, someone, it was Sean, says, folks, there's still one 3-day pass available. I'm on the site here. Does anyone want it? And then Mario, shout out to Mario Professor, mentioned at me, says, you know, I think 16 Figure Focus is looking for one. Spice Runner messaged me and goes, look, I'm on the site now. This one 3-day pass is in my cart. That's the one I wanted. Do you want this or not? I've got limited time here because it times you out, you know? And I was like, oh man, I hate to be unappreciative, but like, I'm actually looking for 2 of them, one for myself, one for my girlfriend, she's going as well. And he goes, all right, 1 second. He messaged me back and he's like, I don't know what happened. There was only one available, but now there's 2 and they're both in my cart. Do you want it or not? I was like, yeah. So he gets it and then like just buys it. And then I'm like, you know, he goes, just, are you happy enough to pay? Or I was like, yeah, definitely 100%. And yeah, he just showed me the screenshot of the thing. 2 3-day passes. Didn't have to do that at all. And then I just sent them on the money through friends and family. Like, so, like, I had wrote that off. I'd write, yeah, I'm not going to Japan. Fine, it's. Look, you'll get to Japan eventually. You go to Star Wars Celebration next time. But so he messaged in the chat going, and fairness, I owe Shane one. He gave me a bottle of water at Star Wars Celebration. So, like, if you think of the chain of events, I wouldn't have had the bottle of water if I drank it and not opted for the Monster. I wouldn't have got the Monster if it wasn't for seeing Austin and Rachel got it. I'd never drink that stuff. And now it's become a funny, silly joke, like. So I would have just drank the bottle of water and thought none of it. But I drank the Monster instead, had the bottle of water, and just randomly goes, just because I wanted to save him the trip, because it would be so annoying for him to move out and leave his space and push through people for half an hour. And I'm just like, yeah, it's like a Euro bottle of water, who cares? But he remembered it, and he's like, no problem, man, I owed you one. But he didn't owe me anything, but like, I just thought like that was awesome. Because there's those out there who say there's no community in this community. And they're wrong.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
So like, I just thought that was sound, man. I just thought that was sound. Yeah. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, it just a real, like, I sent a message on to Austin going, hey man, that little Monster addiction you got me on actually is just it has a funny story behind it. I just thought that was awesome, man. So yeah, so shout out to Austin and Rachel for kind of turning me on to the Monster game, and massive shout out to Sean Lewis, the aka Spice Runner. It was just, that was a really, really sound thing you did, and I'm looking forward to going over there. So yeah, I thought it was a funny story. Thanks for enduring that. So that's it, folks. And we're going to have a quick chat about Loki before we finish up. So do either of you, I presume none of you have this on PO?
I don't, but I do really like it, Shane. So I like I know it's God Loki, but God of Stories, I do like it. But I definitely prefer the sculpted I don't know what it is. I don't always like the rooted hair. For me, it works better with this figure. I think the tailoring is really nice. And I like his loafers. Or in Scotland, in Glasgow, we call them 10 bob sliders. See, when you grow up and you're really...
Oh,
you're a really poor kid. And your soles are wearing down. So they're 10 bob sliders. That's what
10
these
bob
loafers
slider.
look like.
Oh, you mean 10 bob as in £10?
10 or 10 pence.
Gotcha. Yeah.
£10 where I was growing up. You were a rich man.
Did they still have shillings and fardings when you were growing up, Ian?
I'm not quite that old.
I know.
I know I look like I've had a hard paper round, but you know.
No, that was just you built a kitchen, man. You're entitled to be a bit tired.
But,
yeah. So,
but I really like this, and I'm glad that they're making these figures. It's not a 2.0. It's something different. I really think you could do
head
something.
sculpt's incredible, isn't it?
The head sculpt again. This is another one where he's a little bit more gaunt. I know he's quite thin, right? But they've really... I've got the Endgame Loki.
Same.
On, it looks fantastic. I really do think it looks fantastic. You take the helmet off and it's like questionable. This is fantastic. So, I really, really like this. But my Marvel collection's narrowing now, so I wouldn't pick this up. Maybe, I don't know, but not now. But I really like it.
What do you think of that rooted hair?
It's in my opinion, it's one that you can be a bit more forgiving on, right? Because you've got such, like, the horns covering where it joins. I still just, I don't know what it is. Aesthetically, I like the sculpted.
That's the sculpted there now.
Yeah, I like that. I like the separation that's there. I don't need...
I actually prefer the sculpted on this one, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, it just... I don't... Here's... Would I be able to style the rooted as good as that sculpted and that look there? No, I don't think so.
That's actually a very good way to simplify it. What I'm looking at is, I think the hairline is better on this one, because even though he's a kind of full head of hair, it's kind of receding at the front. I don't know, I presume it's a hairpiece he wears, whatever, but the style is the hairline kind of points at the front and goes in at the side.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you can kind of see it there. But the second thing is, I think the hair on top is too thick, and in certain images it's really high. It looks weird there, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's very high there, isn't it? It's like too high.
I agree.
Whereas there, it looks better, I think.
What would that look like when you take the horns off?
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, because it's so high, it would look a bit like he has an extra forehead or something. It's yeah, this is kind of goes back to the conversation earlier on about, like, I'm not convinced. We know that, okay, look, INART's Joker, INART's Batman, INART's Gandalf, even the Pennywise. Yeah, there's a bit of futzing involved, but like those, it looks incredible. Like we all got a bit worried when we saw the Joker initially, or Gandalf initially, or even like the Batman. But bit of futzing, it looks super. But I'm not sure, will these bit of futzing make this look as good? Or I'm not sold on this yet. I need to see the final product to see if they're going to be worth it or not. But I think I'd go sculpt on this if I was going to get it. What about yourself, Phil? What do you reckon? What do you think of the head sculpt? Start off with that.
I think it's incredible. I'm really glad they released this figure. It's really, really good representation from the TV show. I just can't understand why they've gone artisan with this anyway. I just don't. Of all the figures, like you've just mentioned, the Ripleys, the Sarah Connors, why have you...
Pipe dreams.
This doesn't need, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but I just don't feel this needs to be artisan. I just don't understand why they've gone rooted with something that you're always going to display with that sort of crown on the crown. I don't know. But I'm really glad it's released. I think the head sculpt is phenomenal. I love the throne. I even like I never use the sort of lightning bolts and all that, and web flingers and the rest of it. I never use that, but I think that looks amazing.
Do you know, I was thinking about that. Why does this look amazing? I think this looks amazing because there's a certain amount of physical presence in these. He does actually grab them in the show. Whereas if you look at something like a magical blast or an electricity blast, or like, that's something that it's an energy as opposed to something physical. Whereas here, he was actually physically holding them. I know they have like an energy nature or whatever, but he was physically holding these branches together. I think maybe that's why it works better, because it's not supposed to be just like electricity or force lightning or something like that. Maybe that's why they get away with it a bit more in this.
Yeah, and if you cropped in on that a little bit, so you couldn't even see the ends of the roots, you wouldn't know, would you? It would just look like he's...
Yeah, like that or something. You could set this up on a detail. You could even get them like, or not a detail, like a module case, something, or even a detail, get them almost sticking to the sides or something like that. I think people are going to be creative with this.
I'd be interested to know, would he, if you've got him standing, would he fit in a detoff with the horns?
Yeah, true, actually. Well, I suppose... Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think he would, because I'd say he's not too much taller than the Endgame Loki. The Endgame Loki does fit standing up. In the detail, maybe those vines or branches of time might be a bit difficult, but...
Here's the thing, the artisan's what, $150 more than the sculpted?
Yeah, $155
In my
more.
opinion, you'll never convince me to part $150 for that artisan to that sculpt. I just think the sculpted looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm not being funny.
Right,
I would rather pay more money for that sculpted than artisan. I love the way they've done. Again, it's from the prototype photos. It's just my opinion and aesthetics. I think the sculpted's way better.
Yeah, I think it's... And the thing is, it seems to be a common theme as well. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they actually think the sculpted is better in this case. But I'm just going to address some of these chats there. So Striker 47 saying it's nice to see it's nice to see common decency is not lost in the world. It's a very nice thing you did there for you. Absolutely, 100%. So Costa, I'm going to Japan for my birthday in June 2025, so couldn't justify 2 trips. Yeah, I've heard it's expensive. So
Shane, yeah. It's actually not just now. So you know, I've been quite a lot. And the last time
you have
I was
shares
there,
in Japan.
Yeah, I mean the last time I was there was 2019, and the exchange rate was extremely high. So, the last time we were there, 1,000 yen was like. So right now, you're getting 2-to-1 better conversion. So I can't put it into dollars, but 1,000 yen was £10, and now it's £5.20. That's the difference. And when you're looking at hotels, etc.,
pays off.
It's extremely high. You can't buy goods. I grew up like working there as a young engineer, and everything was really cheap. So right now, if you want to go, now is the time.
That makes sense, and hopefully that trend keep going for next year. The horns are permanent. I've heard some people speculate that they're magnetic and to be taken off, and other people are saying that they're not. Does anyone have confirmation on either or? I definitely don't know. Okay. No, so that's not sure if anyone's speaking there. I can't hear anyone, but yeah, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up there. So, you still with us, folks, or are you just very quiet?
Yeah, no, I was looking at the chat in case anybody enlightened us with the horns or the crown.
Yeah.
It makes sense for it to be attached, because would you display it without the horns?
Nah. In that particular scene, look, I'm not getting it anyway, but in that particular scene, he did have the horns. So yeah, I think that's the look. It'd be the complete look. Folks, I really enjoyed that one. Thank you to Ian. Thank you to Phil. Thanks to Mike earlier on. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Big shout out to Sean, the Spice Runner. He's a man who can get things. It kind of reminded me of scene in Shawshank Redemption. I'm told you're a man who is able to get things, you know, just yeah. So yeah, looking forward to Japan next year. Yeah, that's it. Anyone want to plug anything before we go?
Opening these this week, hopefully. Stress free.
You're going to be busy. You're going to be busy. That's exciting. That's exciting. All right, folks. We're going to call it a day there. So thanks very much for joining. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, and see you, folks. Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.